Hello everyone, welcome to Jacqs Scraps. Thank you for joining me today. It is What a Card Wednesday and we are using the Quick Cards Made Easy magazine for our inspiration, issue 153 from June of 2016. And this is the card that we will be designing. It has a template which is linked below. Let's get started. To save some time, I already went ahead and cut out the base of the card using white cardstock, and this is Paper Phenomenon brand. It is her Maker's Basics, and this is Core Color Collection. So using a 12 by 12 cardstock, you will cut this at 6 inches in width and then 12 inches in length. You will take your scoreboard and score at 6 and then fold it over. Use your bone folder, and now you have the base of your card ready. Okay, now that we have the base of our card complete, the next thing we're going to do is the first layer, and I'm going to use this basil cardstock that I picked up from Tuesday morning. It is a kind of a teal color. It has an embossing dot on it, which I really like, and this is 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. So it will give you an 1/8 of an inch border all the way around your card. The next thing that you need would be the top of your card, and that is going to be another piece of white cardstock, and this is going to be 5 1/2 by 2 3/4. So cut that down, and this will be layered on top. For the bottom part, I'm going to be using Simple Stories Vintage Bliss. It's a 6 by 6 pad, and it's double-sided, and that's what you need when making this card. You're going to need one double-sided sheet of paper, and we're going to cut this down to be 5 1/2 by 2 3/4. Once you have that cut out, it would be here. Before we adhere anything, we're going to take the template that we have and do this treatment along the bottom. Now the best way to do this is to, if you have the Tim Holtz ruler, line up the 0 in the center of the paper that we're going to be using and find the center. And I'm going to then align the template and put little marks here. So it's about a 1/2 inch in, just slightly short of that, probably 7 16 inch on both sides. We will, now that we have the center alignment, go ahead and get some washi tape and put this down. Okay, so what I've done is, after we centered the template onto our paper, I have washi taped that down on a cutting pad, and I have a Singer blade knife that I got at Tuesday morning. Warning, warning, I am dangerous with sharp objects. So the next thing we're going to do is slice through the template where the design is. So I'm going to do a couple online and then the rest offline, because I'm kind of nervous about doing this. So here we are. We're going to start at the top of the triangle and try and follow the lines as best that we can. Hopefully my head isn't getting in the way of the video. It's hard for me to tell. I'm trying to stay far back. So you're pushing hard and hopefully hard enough that it's going through the template as well as the base layer there. So let's at least try to figure out if it is going through. Yeah, it's not. So I am not cutting hard enough. Whew, probably because I'm nervous. So let's go back and try it again. Okay, I think I feel it cutting now. And so this isn't going to be perfect because we already cut it. Okay. See, I'm kind of off the template there, but it's okay. Okay, so I was able to get the cut to come through. So definitely have to press a lot harder than I'm doing. I'll try one more. Yeah, that's going much better now that I know I have to do it really hard. Yeah. Okay, after you have it all cut, the next thing you want to do is kind of just go through and make sure the cuts are all the way through and kind of pop up the little arrow there. So they're all going in that direction. Okay, let me get this cleaned up. Before I move on, I just wanted to say that if you don't want to use your knife freehand, you can use a ruler and line that up and then use the knife that way. Either way, it works out well. You're probably going to get more accuracy using the ruler with the knife blade rather than freehand, but either way works well. So however you like to do it is the way you should. Okay, now that our paper looks like this, what we're going to do is fold each one of these down and use our bone folder to crease them down. For this last one, we are actually going to cut this one off all the way. The rest will stay on as adhered. This time I'm going to use a ruler. So put this aside, we're going to save that. Okay, now that that's cut out, what we're going to do is fold the chevron next to it and tuck it under this little chevron, like that. all the way across. So it looks like this. Now, to make sure that it stays like that, I'm going to put just a little dot of glue underneath the smaller chevron on each of those. I'm going to use my art glitter glue, but I did want to show you that I created one of those metal tip toppers, I guess they're calling them. I know you've seen them. They have lots and lots of dangles on them. Quite frankly, I don't need all those dangles, so I only put 3 on them. I just used some jewelry pieces that I had, used a straight pin to put through this last bead, and then I made a circle on it and hooked it onto the bead in front of it. Now, if you follow Tracy Fox at all, you will see in her updated video about toppers that she's now using a earring back, because this way you can change out your needle. If you have a needle that isn't stainless steel, it will eventually get a little rusty and will need to be replaced. So putting it on an earring back like this that has the little loops on it will allow you to change it out. Now, I have a stainless steel pen, so it doesn't really matter, but I like the idea that I could change it if I wanted to. So you just tuck that into the hole of the earring back. Try not to hurt yourself. And then you have your topper. Actually, this is very handy. I like it because then when I lay it on my desk, I'm not losing it. You don't know how many stainless steel pins I have lost because it just gets shuffled around. So while I don't have all the little dangles that everyone else does, I like having a little dangle. So that is something that I did want to share with you. So now I'm going to just put a little bead of glue underneath each one of these. Now, for the piece that we cut out, we are going to take it and align it to the paper just the way that these look. So it would be underneath the very last chevron here. And then you're going to align it like that and glue it on. So first I'm going to adhere my glue. Wrong way. Adhere your glue to the back. And then on the front for under the chevron. And then that finishes off the look. Now that this is done, what I'm going to do is set this aside and we're going to work on the top of the card. So remember, this was 5.5 by 2 3/4 wide. So I'm using my We Are Memory Keeper Precision Press Advance. I'm going to align that to the top. And this magazine came with this set of wildflower embossing folder and stamp set, which I really love it. And I thought we would use these to stamp our sentiment and butterfly. I know it shows the use of one butterfly, but quite frankly, you could stamp anything that you want up here as well as a sentiment. So I've decided that I want to see how these two would look together. I like the idea of having a bunch of butterflies because I'm going to do something different down below on the card when we put it all together. Okay, so I've taken the stamps and I've aligned them to where I want them. I'm going to put my press down on here. And get the ink and ink it up. found this Wendy Vivici Archival Ink Garden Patina. I'm going to use that for the butterfly. Okay, so here is the base of the card, the top layer, so I thought we could put it here so you can see. Oh wow, those look really good. And I'm going to remove the sentiment, but I want to move down the butterflies, I think. I'm thinking it would be cool if they kind of came down onto the flowers. Okay, so I think I'm going to put the stamp here. I like to have more of the butterfly effect going on using the same color. Okay, so once we stamped it, that's where it'll look like, lined up. Next, we're going to adhere ribbon to hide the line that we have between the two pages. So I'm going to use this American Crafts Premium Ribbon, and it is 0.375 inch in width and 4 feet long, but we are only going to need about 7 inches because we want to tuck it around the back side of the card. I'm going to use this Dritz fray check and put that on both ends. Even though it will be in the back, I don't want there to be a chance of it to fray. Okay, now that we have our sentiment and butterflies all stamped, I've aligned the two halves together and added just a little bit of washi here to hold it onto this paper. And I'm going to adhere the ribbon using Fabri-Tac glue, have it go down the center of the ribbon, and then adhere that equal between the two pages as best I can and wrap the ends around the other side. And then there we have our top layer. Next we will be adhering all the layers together. Here is our base. I'm going to open this up when we add the top layer to it. And then on the first layer I have already adhered score pal or score tape. which I bought from scrapbookpal.com. We will align this as best that we can to center it on the page. I think that looks pretty good. And using a bone folder, we'll just make sure that's down. And then our next layer will be the two of these. And I think what I will do, I think I'm going to use wet adhesive so that it has a better bond and that I'm able to get into all these little spots on the back. So I'll get this all glued up and we'll adhere it to the bottom. Okay, I used art glitter glue on the back of this. Going to line it up again the best that I can. And then go ahead and push that down. Now, one of the reasons why I used a solid color on as the first layer is because there was so much pattern in this top layer, and I thought it could use the break. I also used the embossed dots because the dots kind of mirror the flowers. So just so that you understand a little bit of the reasoning why I chose the papers that I did, I think your eyes needed a place to rest with all the pattern with the plaid and the floral, and then having the soft dots there really helped that kind of just shine through there. I like that little pop of color in there. Okay, next I thought we would do some decorating on top. So I bought these butterfly stickers from Hobby Lobby for 50 cents when they were having all those great sales last year. And this is by this Paper Studio. I thought it would be kind of fun to add some. Maybe down here. And then another one over here that kind of blends the pink, the black, and the teal color. Kind of like the butterflies are coming up out of the wood. I kind of just love that whole idea. And then we will put a little bow right over here, I think. I thought about putting a butterfly there, but I don't think so. Okay, I've created a bow, and I'm going to adhere that with a sticky thumb sticky dot, and this is a flat 1.5. I think I'll put it right about there. It's kind of centered with this sentiment. That's cute. And then I'm using some Wink of Stella. I thought that might be good to add some of the glitter up in the top here. Not all of them, but some of them. see that or not, the glitter. I like the little bow there, that's super cute. And then on the inside, I cut out some little flowerets out of the paper just for a little bit of decoration and to continue this part of the paper on the inside, like a signature line there. So that's it for today. That's our card. This one says, "All good things are wild and free." Thank you for joining me for What a Card Wednesday. Stay tuned for details regarding our next session, and I'll see you real soon.